All right, we are live.
We're live.
National recap, 2021 National. Grab the link
It
quick.
happened. We got through it.
Good,
And
got it.
on Monday, I went to Walmart and they asked me to wear my mask for the first time in about a month. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so I don't know if that. But then I went today and it was normal. So I don't know what the heck. I don't know what that was all about because I went to two other stores after that and they weren't like bothering you to wear masks, which got a quick little rant story thing. I mentioned it the other day, but so I went to Target yesterday and I saw like this the stalker was there, and I walked past and I just went down the aisle real quick like just to see, and he was like, "Oh, you looking for anything?" And I'm like, "No, I just like to see what's here because Target I know only carries some things."
Right.
I do a lap around the store. I go see like the other stuff that I, uh, you know, like normally look at, and then as I'm going back across like in like the kids section, waiting there is like this dude and his kid, and they both have their like baskets like on the ground waiting. So I'm like, oh okay, they're probably waiting for I don't know Pokemon or whatever. So I went up to him and I'm like, hey, you guys waiting for the stalker? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, like what do they have? And he's like, well, it's all random stuff. Or I said I was like, oh, like they don't have sports anymore, or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, yeah, it's all crap anyway. It's all crap anyway. And I'm like, oh, did you go to the national? He's like, oh yeah, we went this day, this day, this day, and blah blah blah. And so he didn't want to make small talk. But then I was like, all right, they're waiting for something. So I walked around the corner and kind of like hid to the side, and I noticed that he was whispering to his son like, oh man, like they might have this, they might have that, like blah, 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 whisper. So then I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna wait. So I walked and I like just stood like a couple of feet away from them, and then I asked them like, hey, like what do they normally have? He's like, oh, like we're looking for soccer, and sometimes they might have UFC or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about soccer. And I'm like, hey, would I be able to get like a blaster or two? Would that be okay? And he was like, yeah, okay, well, I'm not dealing with like unless you're a flipper, like I'm not dealing with this stuff. We'll see. And I'm like, I was taken aback. I was like, this dude, he was being so mean about it, and I'm like, no, 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 like I just want to open stuff. Like I've never gotten a chance to open stuff or whatever. So then like he continues to go back to whispering to his son like, oh, they might have that, they might have this. And I again tried to make like small talk or whatever, and he still kind of brushed it off, and I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to like have a conversation while we wait for the person to put like the stuff out. And then after a while of like silence, he was like, oh, if they have mosaic soccer, like that's all you, like we open so much of it, that's all you. So then finally like the guy kind of, well, each every so often there was like a kid or like a person that would walk in that aisle. I swear this dude was about to like blow a gasket or something because he was like, what is he doing? What is he doing? So then they go down, and then as I'm walking behind them, they have like the Merlin soccer blasters, as well as some like the mosaic soccer. And so I'm like, oh yeah, like the Merlin soccer, like oh that's all you. They literally just took all those blasters, put it in their thing, and like they walked. And I'm like, what a dummy. Like I hope that guy got nothing good because that guy like he rubbed me the wrong way, and I did not I did not like that, and I wish I would have just like stayed there from the moment I saw the stalker there. I didn't realize that Target had soccer. I thought that they got rid of all sports and they just had Pokemon, but
So was this guy that you were trying to make small talk to? Did he go to the National?
he said that he did. They said that him and his kid did.
I
Um,
wonder how he was at that show. Like, did he talk to anybody there?
I don't know, man. I mean, he like he it's like he was on a mission. And then I thought about it afterward, and I'm like, what if he's gonna flip this stuff? Like he said, "Oh, I don't like flippers," but like, what if he's just saying that? Because each time I talked to him, he tried to say something that like made me go away. And at one point, I
Right.
was like, "Dude, this is not worth it. Like, I don't want to like wait here for whatever." But then I was like, "No, like I'm just gonna stay here and like see what happens." And then like he let me take as much mosaic soccer as I wanted, but he took the five like Merlin soccer blasters, and I'm like, What an idiot, man! Like, like the retail like hobby game was already as bad as it is, and then when you have the people that don't do flipping and that actually like that actually like to open stuff, you have people like that who don't want to make small talk or whatever, and it just made me mad. And I was like, you know what, I'm just never buying retail ever again.
Andy, you'd be surprised. Like, I don't know how Merlin is doing on the secondary, but the hobby product, you couldn't find it at the National. People were selling out like crazy. And I even know that there were blasters open that had superfractors and then autos in the same box. So
Wow,
I don't know necessarily why there's no resale value, but from what I've seen, there's crazy, crazy pulls coming from it. So,
I'm looking it up now. Yeah, 44,
Jason, I'm
35.
glad you could pop on. It was awesome to meet you. Let me put a name to the face, or a
Mm-hmm.
face to the name. That's what the Nationals about for me. Like, obviously, I'm sure we'll dive into our pickups and all of that, but the camaraderie with the people, hanging out with Pico, who I haven't seen in probably a couple years
Mm-hmm.
outside of last week, obviously. But it's what makes this hobby go is seeing the people, making new friendships. So, Jason, I'm glad you came up, you introduced yourself, and it was awesome meeting you.
Yeah,
What's up, Phil? What's up, Stevie?
that's like the even like in 2019, my whole reason for going was to hang out with the people that were going that I knew, you know what I mean? And like through that you meet other people. And this one, in the beginning, I just knew you, Sean, and I knew Joe. And so from there, like I feel like I met like so many different people that I wouldn't like have gotten the chance to meet, outside of that. So,
Well, yeah, you got to put a name to Calder card collector Josh.
hmm
You got to meet Jason, obviously, and
hmm
I'm glad I got to meet your group of guys at Top Shelf.
it was,
So,
it was
what's up,
I'll
Matt?
tell you what, if like that was a good, because that was technically like my first convention since the 2020 like C2E2, and I just had a lot of fun, and like my feet were like killing me, and I was really tired by like Thursday, but it was like getting to hang out with everybody that really made it worth it, and even if it was just walking around like the show, looking at the same like cases over and over again, I'm glad that I got to do it with people that I don't normally like see.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I mean, hanging out at the show, going out for dinner afterwards, hanging out at the hotel, whether it be the trade night or
Hmm.
just the kind of rip party that we had at the hotel. It's all fun. That's what I'm 100% there for. The pickups that whether you do or don't find, that comes secondary for me. Um, I'll jump into this question
I
from
got a good one.
Andy.
Yeah.
Um, Nothing that I regret passing on, to be honest, and I'm sure we were going to touch on it sooner rather than later. I don't know if you caught the introduction video, I guess you could say. What we were kind of looking for, this kind of rekindling the national. I wasn't looking for a lot. I said then, and I'll say it now. My PCs are too obscure that I don't expect them to see it. I I don't expect to see them at the national, whether it be my wrestling collection, my WNBA, or now my NFL collection. Shout out Pat McAfee. Um, I just, you know, I like to squirrel away cards as an investment purpose, you could say. But I also really want certain cards in the collection. And at that Lansing show, I was able to secure a Topps PSA 9 Stephen Curry rookie. And that was actually number one on my national bucket list. Um, so for me to knock it off before the national, there wasn't a lot that I was chasing. So, um, and the second point to that is a lot of it was high priced. When I saw the crowd on Wednesday on the dealer preview night, I didn't want to touch the bargain bins, not necessarily because I didn't have time, because I was there till Sunday, but just the amount of people. I tried looking at one, and I was literally being dragged back and forth like that by my backpack. It wasn't fun. Um, so the fact that I got to walk around, look at the showcases, look at every table, um, I got to see everything. I asked on certain cards, but with where dealers are at on what they paid and what they were priced at, I'll just go to eBay. I know it doesn't have quite the story, but you can get it cheaper, and sometimes the price you can get it at outweighs the story behind it, in my opinion.
So
So yeah, go
yeah,
ahead, Pico.
I have one that I could think of, but a card that I got kind of like made up for because it wasn't on my list. I saw I got one card from a guy. That same guy had um, like the Bowman Mike Trout rookie, graded BGS 8, and it was $200. And to me, I was like, a Mike Trout rookie. I know it's graded like BGS 8, but for $200, to me, it sounded like a good deal. And there was another card I was going to try to like make a deal for as well. But there's something about that. Even I think you said it too, Sean. There's something about that BGS like paper like banner on like the graded cards that I just don't like. And if that was in a PSA, if that was a PSA 5 even, it's totally fine because it's got the PSA look to it and everything. But that's one that like should I have bought it? Probably. But at the end of the day, it's no big deal. But yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, you know, people like PSA because the tens bring money. You know, but honestly, as an eight, I know it was the Bowman or Bowman draft or whatever one it was, but as hobby relevancy goes, Mike Trout is the guy. I know there's a new face in baseball right now with Tatis and Otani, but I just kind of feel like people are sleeping on Trout. You know, once he gets healthy and comes back, they're not going to pitch to Otani. Otani's got to be up there in intentional walks right now. People thought he was going to hit 55, 60 home runs. I don't see it. He's slowed way down after that derby and the All-Star game. But again, whether you got it or not, you're happy with your pickups,
Hmm.
and it's one card that you might see the same grade at a different show or next year's national or 2 years when it's back in Chicago.
Yeah. The one thing that I did pick up at the national that I wish I didn't was a cold. And I don't know if anybody can tell that I'm just like it hit me big time yesterday, and I'm still down on it. So if I look like a mess, that's my first pickup of the national. So
Um, with that question, I don't remember where that was.
I did
Obviously, I
look.
didn't I didn't get to walk that show very much, so I don't really know.
I did look, Phil, and it was the same guy, but he had all like showcases. And no offense, but I don't think Connor Shaw is going to be in any showcases.
No.
So
With this question, I'll jump in, and hobby box prices were hobby box prices. There's people that are gonna, I I know of people that sold Merlin. They made money on it, but they wanted to be cheapest in the room to move the product. Um, to be honest, there wasn't a lot of blasters down there, and I thought that just like any show around me, you'd be walking into a boatload of retail. The only retail that I think that I noticed a lot of were singles, especially select football, all the variations, all the colors. Um, but compared to what the prices were, they were obviously up from 2 years ago, Phil. But from where they're at online, it was very fair if you're looking to rip anything. And
yeah.
I'll keep going on that point. To be honest, I didn't see a lot of wax moving this past week.
Mm.
Um, like
All
I
about the
said in the
singles.
previous video, two of the biggest releases that come out at every national were Topps Chrome Baseball and Allen and Ginter Baseball. and both of them were pushed till mid-August. So I don't know if that deterred people away, like, we're going to save and buy that. But I also think where the state of the hobby is right now, like, don't get me wrong, it's still great. Cards are moving every day. eBay's as popular as ever. People aren't into the wax right now, especially when there is so much available. You know, Retail stopped being the easy 5x your money or 10x your money because people realize, oh, it may not be readily available, but it's out there. There's plenty of it.
I
So,
also I also think that um, like if you look at the prices for cards, and I think that there's like a lot of cards that I looked at the prices this weekend and I was like, oh, like I can't afford that, but it is affordable. Like it just sounds like a price that's affordable. And I think like if you okay, so if Alonzo Ball Prism rookie, base Prism rookie goes for I don't know $200, let's say. For that $200, would you rather? You can't get a hobby box for $200. You might be able to get two blasters for $200. Would you rather get two blasters for $200 and try your luck at Alonzo Ball rookie card, or would you just rather buy the rookie card? Because I'd rather just
rookie
buy the
card.
rookie card and call it a day.
Yep.
So I think that's what a lot of people. I think that's what this national was surrounded on, was people just buying the card instead of buying for the chase. And I think that that is what a lot of people are figuring out, that hey, someone else wants to open the product for me and I'll just buy the cards. Then so be it, because at the end of the day, if you open up like 16 blasters, you might get like two rookie cards you're looking for.
Well, and to go with that, I was just kind of having a similar discussion at the shop before I left. I love buying singles because no matter if you buy the singles, if it's what you collect, there's still people sleeping on singles.
mhm,
You know, I'll use this example that I just talked about at the shop. Case hits. Topps case hits from especially baseball, because that's their main focus. They don't sell worth a shit. We had a one from Stadium Club, and I was like, oh, it's a $5 card. The other guy that works there was like, it's a case hit. How is it a $5 card? I'm like, I don't know.
mhm,
They don't like them. Panini Baseball, on the other hand, and I've got one behind me in my eBay box. It's a Ronald Acuna, and the one I think was Francisco Lindor. So two different players, two different hobby likenesses. But the Prism case hit that I have is a $50 card. Like, I don't get it, but at the same time, like, I've been able to find those case hits and bargain boxes at shows for anywhere between $2 and $5.
mhm,
It's not my cup of tea to PC, but I'll buy it, I'll put it on eBay, and it sells. But at the same time, if I'm looking at it at the other way, where I bought the Prism baseball box for $300, hobby box, and I pulled that card, and it was probably, I would say, a $50 card in a $300 box is going to be top two cards in that box. I'd feel pretty bad about it. If I
mhm,
bought a $350 box and my best card was a $50 card, I'd feel very bad. Did I have fun doing it? Maybe. But I would feel very, very bad that my best card and my best return is a $50 card.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, so like Lazy says, sell the wax, buy the single.
Yeah.
And I flashed this question up earlier, just a second ago. Jason, theft happens every year. It's nothing new. I think we kind of touched on this when I saw you on Friday or Saturday, where you met the Nate and Hogan. Um, Theft happens. There were plenty of dealers that I saw that they brought their own cameras, which was not something I saw a lot of 2 years ago. And there was more security walking that show this year more than ever. Because what you didn't notice is they were in regular clothes. They didn't have the police badge on their chest with the gun strapped on their hip.
Mhm.
They were in regular street clothes to look like regular people that were just attending the show. So I don't care how much security is there, some stupid person is going to try.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you're stupid, you will do a stupid thing, and that's just how it goes. You know what I mean?
How many people got away with it this year? I would imagine there's at least one. For every person that
Hmm.
got caught, and we saw the video on Twitter or social media or wherever. I would say there's somebody that whether it had been a $5 card from a bargain bin or a high end card that some dealer left the card on his showcase or left the
Hmm.
showcase open. I bet you someone out there walked away with some.
It's just so stupid, man. Like you're throwing away your like you're throwing away everything just for like a stupid card. I don't
Yep.
understand. You know what I
I,
mean?
I don't get
Like
it either, but with that amount of people, I don't care how much security is on staff, you cannot watch everybody.
no, yeah, I don't know.
Phil, just go on eBay, buy what you like, man. Buy your wrestling that you like, buy your Gamecocks, your anything else that you want. I honestly like I ripped one box over the weekend and I essentially got it for free because I won a giveaway. I traded in the item that I won for the box that I ripped. I got nowhere close to value back. But because it was free, I felt like it was a win because I got some money in return. But anymore, it's like I don't like to rip. And that's why I haven't made a video outside of these two in 3 months. Yeah, and at the same time, like the stuff to rip lately has been trash, where it's one pack and it's over in a minute. But I just, you know, I don't buy a ton at shows, but maybe that's what I'll start doing is do like a show pickups video, or maybe even take you guys with me as I set up for a show.
Hmm. I made a purchase post national, but it's related to the national. I got one of the
Oh, you got the DJ ski?
yeah. Well, there. I was watching like the card talk live from the thing when they had him on like the show,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what? Like if these become like a thing, I at least want the Patrick Kane one because I mean it's a Patrick Kane card.
Hmm.
Like I feel like that's like everyone looks at the Jordan and they're like, oh, I need the Jordan, but I mean Patrick Kane is like up there for top five like current NHL players. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean National Chicago, and if this artist like takes off even more, like you know, good to have.
Nico, do you want to start with this one?
Dude, I don't know, man. It's so hard to tell. It's so hard to. I mean, like I have all my purchases, so like at some point I'll show them all. Here's actually before we get into that, shout out to Matt Beast in the chat. I gotta get a new case for this because someone thought it was a good idea to put the sticker on the One Touch, so that's done for. Um, let's see. I picked up a lot of PC stuff. I'm trying to like see. You know what? I'll just go with this. I don't know. This is like what was I don't know. I'm just gonna like start off with this because I'm eventually gonna show everything. Hold on, I gotta find the last one.
So, Matt, I loved Reggie Bush when he played for the Lions. I can't stand him though as a Notre Dame fan. The Bush push still haunts me.
Let's see. All right, so the first booth that I made a purchase from all weekend was one that I saw Sean and Joe at and everybody else, and Sean found some CM Punk UFC Topps Chrome refractors. So I did like a little deal with the guy for that, and he gave me a good deal on it. So he had a ton of wrestling stuff. So like I'd go to his like table more times throughout the weekend. So the one day I don't forgot what day it was. I went there and I was like, hey, look at that, like he's got a CM Punk autograph in there from like the Cup or something like that. And I was talking to him, and I was like, oh man, like Punk's my favorite. I've been looking for Punk stuff, and the one thing I've been looking for was an upper deck card of CM Punk where the picture is him in his Blackhawks jersey, and then there's a piece of like his Blackhawks jersey in the card, signed it and everything. So this dude pulls out his personal collection box, and like there was a bunch of crazy stuff in there. There was like a ton of Tony Storm autos, ton of CM Punk autos. There was a Kevin Owens Topps Chrome Superfractor autograph, and then he pulls out three of these, one for each color. So the red one, the white one, and the black one. And this is like a card that I've been looking for forever because it literally is like two of my favorite things. Not currently because the Blackhawks are in a situation that I do not want to associate myself with, but previously, two of my favorite things. And it's just one of the cards that I wanted forever. And I'm happy to find that. And in trade, kind of, I told him about a CM Punk 1/1 UFC auto that I saw at another place in the show. And I told him about it. I had the one guy follow me so he can go buy it. In reality, I should have bought it for the price that that guy was selling it. I should have brought it over there, and I should have been like, "Hey, want to make a trade? Like 100 or like $1,000, and we'll go down from there." Because when I told this dude how much it cost, he was like, "Wait, is that 2,000? What?" And I was like, "No, 200 something." And so in reality, I should have just bought it and like traded with him, but I didn't know he was a Punk fan. So then after that little conversation, I bought another CM Punk auto. This one being a WWE 2007 auto from whatever the product was called, WWE Action maybe. So that's that one. And then I don't think Sean knew about this one, but this one was the one that caught my attention in the first place. And literally my last purchase of the show, I walked back over to his table and I'm like, I think he had like, I don't remember, maybe like 125 on this. And I was like, $100 for the Punk auto. And he was like, oh, and he thought about it and he thought about it and he was like 115. And I was like, and he was like, you pay him with cash? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, all right, I'll do it. So from Upper Decks to the Cup, one of like, the high end hockey products. Dude, my camera sucks, by the way. This is not great, but you can still get the point. So it's just like, another hockey product, CM Punk autograph. So a bunch of Punk autos. I did not expect to find any CM Punk autographs.
Speaking of Calder card collector, here he is.
What's
What's
up,
up, Josh?
Hold on, let's see if I can pull up here's the refractors. Oh, here's two. Okay, I'm just going to take out of these. Screw it. Let's see. Oh, there's the other Punk one. So here's the stuff that Sean found for me. 3 refractors of CM Punk in the UFC Topps Chrome. One's numbered to 75, one's numbered to 99, and one's 25. So I got that in a deal with him, with the guy at the thing.
Shout out to Jason Kratz if he's watching. He's the guy that you got these from. He's in the Facebook groups that I'm in.
Oh, really? Okay. I
don't know if he
didn't catch
watches
his name.
the Marks videos, but if he does, shout out Jason Kratz.
Do you know his shop name, or does he have Instagram or something?
So I think he just breaks with
Okay.
these people that are on the Facebook page. I don't know if he has a shop or anything.
Mm-hmm.
We make deals pretty frequently, but if next time I talk to him, I'll see and I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah, because I talked to him a little bit like after the fact because I said I was like, I mean, hey, I've been making deals with you all weekend, like I wanted to know like where he was from. He said he was from like Minnesota or whatever.
Yep.
But here's like with the Punk refractors, I got 2 of these that were thrown in the little deal when I gave to my friend Tommy, and then the other big thing was an Alexa Bliss autograph from this set, which was like the big card, the reason why I made purchases. But like for Io Shirai first NXT card, I don't know, or first auto, I just thought that was like a good deal. So yeah, lots of Punk stuff because the inevitable.
Well, and that was nice too because it was one of your wants.
Mm-hmm.
last week when we were on. Yeah, I remember you saying you wanted.
Yeah, I wasn't
That's cool.
expecting.
Cool to find it down there.
I was not expecting it at all. Trying to see like what else here. So I bought two on the last day on the Sunday. Um, I found a box of 2019 NXT hobby box, which I did okay. I got like Ricochet to 50 and Damian Priest to 99 from that hobby box. And then I opened up two of the last DA like NXT hobby boxes. So like Austin Theory, I don't know if I had an auto of his or not. Bobby Fish, which I know for a fact I didn't have an auto of. I got Matt Riddle, and then um, opened like a box of Topps Chrome. Those are my hits from that. And then I don't know, like I'm trying to go through the rest of my pickups because I know Sean doesn't have as many random little things. Here was like a deal. So I found like a I found a bunch of Devontae Graham stuff this weekend, which I'll show it all together. But this was a
Well,
part
and
from
you got
the
to be pretty excited about where he just landed.
dude. If I mean if the Pelicans want to like you know want to pick it up, and if Zion wants to stay
Dude,
and
I
become a
Graham should
champion,
probably start.
I hope so, man. He's such a good player, and like when the Hornets drafted Lamelo Ball, I was like, okay, probably gonna get like overshadowed in the sense of like his name because the Hornets that they I don't know, to me it was like Devontae was the only reason I cared about the Hornets, and then when Lamelo Ball like became like the new big thing, and
Well,
I was like,
and
okay,
they were just so deep at guard, anyways. Like even with Malik Monk leaving and Devontae Graham leaving, like I still feel like they have a lot of guards there.
yeah. So I'm excited to see, and honestly, like I think like the gold and like the pelican colors, I think it's like really sweet. So I gotta get like a jersey. As long as he's number four. If he doesn't get number four, which I don't know if there's anyone number four on the team, he needs to get number four. Then I'll buy a jersey. But here are some random cards that I threw in with like a deal. Here's a upper deck star rookies of Jordy Nelson for like $1, I think this was. Here's Score, Johnny Manziel rookie. And then Mo Bamba, Prism rookie, for $1. Each of those for $1. Because why not, you know? Let's see. Here's some other stuff. Here's a card that Sean gave me. Will Chamberlain, Purple Prism. Sweet looking card. Here's a purchase I made because I just wanted one of his autographs. It's a red ink Jay Cutler Vanderbilt auto. So Jay Cutler's the man. If anybody watched, I forgot what that show was called with his like ex. That was fun. I picked up these because I just think like this is gonna be like this is an iconic card now, and I just saw these and I was like I need these. Shout out to 7 Out Sports Cards, I think is their name. Got two JC rookie cards because
Oh,
why
I didn't know
not?
you grabbed those either.
Oh yeah, I got two Jay Z rookie cards because I don't know, man. Like I don't know much about Jay Z other than the fact that like he's like this big like global name. You know what I mean?
Icon.
But yeah, icon. So like I needed myself some Jay Z rookies. It's not the chrome. It's just like the base. But it is what it is. Here's from I forgot what this is called, but I knew that Sean sold a card like this before. I got this for Kirk Heinrich, but Dwayne Wade is also on there. It's like this weird looking,
Oh,
you
it's
know,
the Topps Matrix.
yeah, okay, that's what it's called. I get that Kirk Heinrich rookie in there. Here's a red, white, and blue Kansas auto from a player that I collect. This is cool because I was not expecting to see this. So here's a little story. So Wayne Simeon, he played for Kansas like I don't know, like a long time ago. And then like he won a championship with the Heat, and so So when I was going to school, I had an apartment complex that was like not too far off from the campus, and there was like this like little like forest area when I first like got my apartment, and by like my senior year, they were demolishing it and they were putting houses there. So there was three houses being built, really big houses. It turns out it was him. He like he built houses for himself and like his family and like his like all his relatives and everything. So I was neighbors with this guy for like 2.5 years essentially. And then here's another old Kansas player, Jojo White autograph. So there's that. Shout out to the Tops Q&A. My first Tops Luis Robert auto. Let's see. Oh, here's from the finest box that I opened. Drew McIntyre green auto. Tony Storm rookie number or blue number 150, and then Rhea Ripley base, and then just a bunch of stuff that like a year ago would have been $1 million. For Devontae Graham, just the base Donruss rated rookie, three Prism base rookies. I think I got one of them from. I didn't, Matt. I went above and beyond. Here's a silver prism. Here's I think it's called like Velocity or something like that. I don't know.
Yep, Blue Velocity.
Blue Velocity. So those are some of like the base, the base stuff. And then there's another one that I'll talk about in a second. Should I put myself over, or do you want to do one of your things?
Yeah, I'll show some. I'll show my wrestling. So my dude's 7 out cards. He was the guy that I was working a deal with prior to going down last week. If you guys tuned into the last video or last live stream, so I took him 70 WWE autographs and 45 relics. Um, the only reason why I tossed in the relics is because I had a cash price in mind, but he told me he had this card. So I was trying to get closer to the cash price in mind, plus come away with this card. This is the first one I've seen, and I'm happy to add it into the collection. It is the Ruby Riot Gold out of 10 women's division from this last year. So I actually have the black and everything else through the rainbow now, except for the 1 of 1 and the plates. So again, shout out to 7 Out for helping me almost complete a rainbow. Um, I'll pause for a second and see what Phil said. Phil, so are you wanting like Alabama or Patriots?
I would just
Because
wait
honestly, like
until.
I know I don't think there's any Patriot stuff out right now, but if you want one, I'd buy it now. Maybe take some stuff into your LCS and get cash out of it. That way you can justify it a little bit more. But I don't think Cam is going to be, if he starts at all, I don't think he's going to be starter by end of the season. So I would probably try to get a Mac Jones before he starts for the Patriots.
An
Um,
auto. If
yes,
you're
yeah.
looking for just the base stuff, um,
So
wait for the new
I
stuff to come out and buy the old stuff.
yeah, and I kind of figured you'd want a Patriots one, Phil. But if you don't want to justify the wait, like I said, I'd probably snag one sooner rather than later. I know Elite just came out. I know Pen Pals is kind of a chaser card, but I think he might, and it's only going to be like a headshot, like maybe shoulders and up. But I think they actually feature him in a Patriots uniform, so I'd probably look at one of those just to get one in your collection before the season starts. Because like I said, if Cam goes down, if he doesn't even win the starting role, max prices are going to increase. So Um, I'd try to justify one soon.
Yeah.
Um, and then, so back to my pickups. I don't know if I should necessarily count these as pickups, but I took them down there raw, got them back in a slab, so I'm going to show them off anyways. These are two cards that I'm very excited to add back to the collection. This first one is a Hulk Hogan calling card. So these are one of the old phone cards. The pins actually not even scratched on it. So signed by the Hulkster. He
Oh, that
actually,
is signed. That
yep.
looks such like a such a good signature
So
that I was like,
I thought it was a facsimile too when I bought
mm,
it, but you probably can't see, but like right there he smudged it.
mm,
So I knew it was an in person. And the story behind this is I actually bought it for like 10 or 15 bucks. Because I don't know if the guy that I bought it from knew that it was a real auto either.
mm,
Um, but I sent it to Beckett and Beckett failed it. But I knew PSA has passed these in previous years.
mm-hmm.
Because I mean, again, if you notice, he doesn't sign it Hulk Hogan. He signs it Hulkster. So I
Okay.
don't know if there's too many of those autos out there outside of these, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
that's a cool one for the PC.
That's pretty sweet. I didn't know that.
Excuse me. And then this one, I know I had to go PSA on that route. Again, Beckett failed it when I sent it in a few months ago. This one I've actually had sitting raw for a while. I bought it raw. Has been chilling on my desk because I mean I trust the mail. I trust that it's going to get there. I trust the process. Shout out 76ers. Um, but I wanted to really take this down and have it slabbed while I was there and able to get it back within, which turned out to be an hour. But you know, if it would have taken all week, I would have been thrilled to have it back in hand in 5 days. But this, I kid you not, took an hour. I got my Dwayne Johnson, aka Rocky Mavia, aka The Rock, rookie auto signed, slab by Beckett. This card is actually pretty clean, and the signature is also pretty clean. But really, I didn't want to spend a ton to get it graded, and I didn't want to wait long. So for 50 bucks, I figured why not just get it slabbed. I think it's in this case it's worth more than what I paid for it. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely another key card for my PC. So
Going back, I wish I would have like pulled out some cards to get graded or slabbed or anything like
and
that.
that's the thing. Like um, Matt, I didn't do it express. Um, so the express rates at the national for PSA, I want to say it was 250 or 300 for end of show and 600 for end of day. For autograph encapsulation, PSA was running a special for $15 a card. So again, there's no grade on it. It's just slabbed as authentic. So this only cost me 15 bucks, and it was back before the end of the show. There was one card in my giant. Um, so I got all these cards just slabbed as authentic. Um, as far as autos go, um, there was one card that cost me more than $15 to get encapsulated, and that was for a neighbor of mine. So I don't have the card to show off. The Dwayne Johnson, I wanted to go Beckett with it because I just love the look of it in Beckett's slab. And this one, because of his name, because of his likeness, and because of how well he sells, they had to do a $50 charge. Otherwise, they're generally around the $20 range too. So, Phil, I hope I kind of answered that for you. Grading services at the National were about 300 a card, just like it is right now if you were to send it in, because they haven't opened those cheaper services yet. And yeah, I didn't grade anything, didn't have anything to justify spending that type of money into grading. But for 15 and $50, I'll take getting autograph slabbed any day.
Sheesh, dude. That's so expensive for grading.
But yeah, so I those are my three wrestling pickups. Um, I had a couple gifts actually that I'll show off. Um, First one came from my buddy Chili B, aka Ben. He found this Lou Holtz Ginter Relic. It's actually a two-color relic. So he found that in a dollar bin and gifted it to me. I gladly would have paid him for it because it's a $20 card on eBay. So the fact that he found this in a dollar bin again kind
That's
of
pretty
shows
good.
you that buy singles. If people are sleeping on this at a buck and you can turn around and put it on eBay at 20, I get you're
Hmm.
losing 12% of that, but you're still making money. Um, so that was awesome. And then my dad actually found this one and gifted it to me. Um, it is my Ian Book, rated rookie auto from Chronicles Draft Picks. Loved Ian Book, winningest quarterback at Notre Dame. So for I think my dad paid like $10 for this, which I think they only do like 15 to 20 online, but again, pretty good deal. And I love adding Ian Book stuff to the PC. And Matt should appreciate that because he went to DeSaints. So um, the only other stuff I really have, actually, one more gift that came 2 days after the National, but it was a purchase at the National, was another Notre Damer, Golden Domer, Julian Okwara. A great signature there.
Poe.
Looks Poe,
Who? Poe.
Poe. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a J, like just his initials, but I don't think I had a Julian Okwara in the PC. So thank you, Josh, for that.
Poe. Poe. That's funny.
So yeah, the only other stuff that I really have here is some mail that came in over the weekend. I did rack Darren Ravel at the National,
Ravel.
so got 5 Ginter cards signed. He had a lot of tickets that he was showing off that he was selling. Has a great collection. Was kind enough to sign those for me, so got those. The only other stuff, Pico, that I really have are the slabs that I had other autographs authenticated or my two bigger purchases. So if
You
you've
gotta
got
say
more to
those for the
show
main
off,
event. You gotta say those for the main event. You can.
I mean,
Uh,
I got all these slabs that I had authenticated.
Here, so I'll start off by patting myself on the back a little bit. So on the Sunday, I was walking around looking at like just the random booths, and there was like this like older couple that was there, and they had like a bunch of old national like badges from previous years. And it said like $5, and it said like money goes to charity. So I was like, okay. So I was looking at them, and I found like this one with like Wilt Chamberlain select card in there. So I asked her, I was like, so what, like, what charity does it go to? And she got like really excited, and she was like, oh, like, it goes to St. Jude's, and like we buy them books, and they're able to like own the books instead of just like put the books back on the thing. And, like we were talking back and forth for, a little while about, like the charity and everything. And I thought that was really sweet. So I bought some kids some books. So shout out to Wilt Chamberlain and this. So I just thought it was sweet, as it is, and then like the
Well,
other
and
factor on
that's the
top of
thing
it.
is I've got my pass sitting here.
Hmm.
They didn't do cards this year.
No.
I know it kind of came out during the pandemic. You know, Panini couldn't throw a VIP party, products delayed. Um, but I know that's one thing that people were really bummed out about is the passes and
Hmm.
the badges didn't have that card with them. Because I don't know how many years they've been doing it. I've been going to the National since 2014, and they've had cards on the VIPs, the dealers, the corporate badges. Um, I don't know if it's been going on. I would assume it's been going on longer than that. But yeah, for it just to be a dealer badge this year was I know I talked to a lot of people that were bummed out about that.
Hmm. Yeah, it makes sense though. Like they had like a last minute. They weren't sure what was gonna happen. So
Yep. Well, and that's why they couldn't get the party around Panini.
yeah.
They couldn't get enough people or anywhere to host the VIP party. So they're like, you know what? We'll just do it at a later date, but call it the VIP party from the National. So
Hmm. And then I bought I think one of my first purchases. So here's a certificate of authenticity for them. The Fanatics had like their rack of random jerseys. I know that was like a hit for me last time. And they had Kansas soccer jerseys that were like team issued. So I was a big Kansas soccer fan, and I go to like every single game my senior year. So I was like, hey, for not too much, like team issue jersey, that's pretty cool to have. When I get like my basement one day, or my man cave, just have random like Kansas stuff all over the place. So let's see.
Phil, if you mean
Here's
send the cards to the dealer badges later or VIP passes, there's really no way to get the card out of that badge
mhm.
unless you destroy the badge. So the fact that they would just send you a free card, no, there's no way that they
It
would do
would make
that.
sense. It's
I
just a
mean,
cool
the
thing.
the VIPs, like, so my dad was a VIP. He already got this bag and all the goodies that are inside. So for dealers and for corporate and for the VIP people that didn't have their card on the badge,
Hmm.
oh well, it missed a year.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it sucks because you get to hunt down your a badge with your favorite player on it. I know Pico, or not Pico. My buddy Michael that set up there at the National this year a couple of years ago had a kid approach him, and I forget what card he had on his badge, but the kid had a Stephen Curry, and he's like, "You have my favorite player on your badge. Will you take my Curry badge for yours?" And Mike's like, "Yeah." So there's just no easy way to get the card out of that without destroying it.
It's
So,
more of a keepsake than it is like the card.
yep, yep.
Here's like a crazy purchase, but it was like so cheap that I had to. And then I bought the one touch that it's in after the fact. So this is number two of two from 2014 playbook. Blake Bortles booklet, my first booklet, by the way. I mean, look at like just looking at this card. Like you don't have to read the back. You don't have to see that it's from the rookie premiere and it's not game used. I mean, just look at how sweet that is. Some appreciation for the rookie that was Blake Bortles, former Packers backup quarterback, former and current Blake of the Year. So I mean, look at the patch on right here, and then look at the swoosh. So there that is right there. A deserving one touch purchase for that, being my first booklet of the national or of ever. That's my first booklet ever. And then this one I picked up at Card Collector Two's booth. I got this, and I got a Devontae Graham base rookie for like for $35. Pretty much threw in the thing for free. So the Kansas jerseys, like I said, and then they had some other jerseys. Oh, I got a Michael Kopech jersey for like, oh, that was a different Fanatics place, but I got a Michael Kopech jersey, White Sox jersey for like $40 or something. So they did have those, but Fanatics had more game used and team issued stuff than they had just random stuff they were trying to get rid of. But this is like the one purchase that I made from Card Collector Two's booth. It's from 1911, from like the Piedmont like cigarettes like cards. It's hard to tell because my lighting is just so good, but it's like a White Sox like cigarette card, and it's just authenticated. It's not like graded or anything, but I just thought that was like a sweet pickup. Like that was just such a weird thing to find, and it's just such a cool like looking like old like 100-year-old card that I just had to have it. And yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things you see and you're like, man, that's sweet. I need that.
The thing with that compared to modern is that's never going to go down.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's just so unique. You know what I mean? Like it's not like there's like a million here. there's like, wait for it, wait for it. There's like a million of these. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Here's a Gem Mint 10 that I purchased. Gem Mint 10 Panini Prism Devontae Graham rookie. Just a base. Gem Mint 10. Um, there's like thousands of these, but there's
Well,
only
so crazy stat
a
for
few of
you. I don't know
those.
if you saw this at the National,
Hmm.
but PWCC, or no, not PWCC, Golden Auctions announced that for the Zion base rookie PSA 10 Prism, there are
Hmm.
now 18,700 of them graded as a PSA 10.
Oof.
Can
So you're
you
telling
imagine how
me,
many are graded overall? If
yeah,
there are almost
sheesh.
1,900 of them as a 10, or 19,000 of them as a 10. Like,
That's, I
I'm so
mean,
glad I sold mine.
in like a year, I'm going to be able to find one for like $100. It's going to be like
Dude,
worthless.
I got one back from PSA.
Hmm.
When I got it back, they were 700 a card. By the time I set up at a show, I priced it at 450. Last time, or when I sold it, I got 330 out of it. Yeah, and Puka is right behind him. I did see that today. Did you
Wow.
see the other stat today that Golden Auction said, Josh, about how many cards they have graded since they're open in 1991? I've got the
That's
stat
crazy.
right here if you haven't. I'll probably share
That's
it anyway.
that's nuts, dude. Just think about that. Like that many cards, and it's just like everyone. If everyone has a Gem Mint 10, that's the thing with like, you know, that's why I wanted a PSA 1 Charizard so bad because like, it's great to have like a PSA 8 or PSA 7 or 9 or whatever, but like,
What's up,
you
Randy?
know, how many people really want to grade a PSA 1?
Right. So the tweet that Golden Auctions. Oh, I didn't see that. So the tweet that I saw was, as of today, PSA has graded exactly 300 or 34,111,107 cards in their history. In other words, they have graded one card every 27.7 seconds for the last 30 years since they opened in 1991.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. Dude, if they make an 11 and then they do like wow, yeah, that'd be funny. Um, well, continuing with the gem mints. So this one I saw at the Card Talk booth, and I just saw this and I needed to have it. I included you know, each booth I went to, I needed to pick up a Devontae Graham base Prism rookie, so that's another one that I got. But I saw this and I saw that there's only $50, and I was like, man, this was such a big card to me. Being like one of the first players, like Kansas players that I started to like watch. So it's a just a base Prism, 2014 Panini Prism, Gem Mint 10, Andrew Wiggins rookie. So I mean, the Joel Embiid of these goes for a ridiculous amount. And this was one of those things that, like back in the day, everyone was collecting Andrew Wiggins, and like Andrew Wiggins was the guy. But Joel Embiid, really, no one was as high on as Andrew Wiggins. So I have some Joel Embiid rookies that I got for like $3 a piece, which are now like 100 or more. So that's pretty crazy. And then to finish out the Devonte Graham stuff, this was one of the last purchases. I was very excited to find this for the price that I got. So this is a Gem Mint 10 Devontae Graham Panini Prism Rookie Auto, and I saw this in the case at this one booth, and I was like, okay, it goes for like 80 on eBay. I'm probably gonna have to pay, or he's probably gonna ask for 100, and I'm gonna have to like get him down to like 70 or 80 or something like that. So the dude was like, it wasn't his booth, but then like the guy was like a couple of feet away, and he was like, "How much for the Devonte card?" The guy looked at me, And he was like, $50. And I'm like, just like that. Like I thought that I was gonna have to pay 80, and I only had to pay 50. And then he pointed at me. He's like, "Do you like him because of Kansas?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, like I met him. Like I got to watch him play." He's like, "He was so good in school. Like like $50, easy for you, So that was like surprising to see because this again was one of those cards last year that was like a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
Um,
So Perez, yeah, we showed off some. Um, these two weren't pickups, but I took them down to get slabbed. And I got my ruby gold. A lot of wrestling down there this year. Good to see. Definitely more of a variety than in years past. But no, I didn't purchase a wrestling card. Like I said, I took those two down to grade or get encapsulated, and then the ruby was part of a cash trade deal. Um, and Phil, HGA was actually set up there, so they were
mhm.
selling their own slabs. People were grading with them. Didn't don't really know if people were buying them, um, but they had their own booth. They had their own slabs out there of cards that I don't know if it was like their own collection that they slabbed themselves were selling. Um, but yeah, they're around. There's a couple that is sitting at the shop I work for right now. So I will say I honestly won't use them. I don't like the fact that I I want the card, not a pretty label. The PSA red label, the SGC tuxedo, the Beckett gold bar, um, even the CSG lime green label. I'd rather have that than you know a raised eyebrow picture of the Rock over this card. Like it's just not for me. I don't. If you like it, great. That's awesome. We definitely need a different approach than PSA because let me tell you, with what they pulled at me with me at the National and other stories I've heard, I'm done. I'm not going back there.
Yeah, I mean, it's something about like at first HGA was cool because it was like something brand new and unique and stood out. But then after that, I'm like, I still like the PSA. I still like the stuff that I know. You know what I mean? I don't want to move too far away from that. Um, my last Devonta Graham purchase was like this was really hard to find like a comp for. Gem Mint 10, Fast Break, Prism, Rookie Auto. So I had to pay a little bit more than I wanted to, but I'm glad to have that because it looks like it's a sweet card. Um, so that's that, and then there you go, Sean's
They don't suck.
arch
Their
enemy.
customer service sucks.
Yeah, and then so my main events. I got multiple main events. I'm gonna show this off, and you're gonna be like, "That's how is that not the main event?" So this one, I was either gonna buy an auto of them or the rookie, one or the other. And I got a good deal, I think, on the rookie. And the fact that I don't know, like I always thought this was like one of those unreachable cards, but I'm glad that I was able to reach it. And again, I paid a little bit more than I wanted to, but I think long term, I think it's going to pay off. So this is a 2005 Topps Aaron Rodgers PSA 9. Aaron Rodgers rookie. I mean, many people are saying the greatest of all time. Who is Tom Brady? I don't know. No, but I'm just glad to have an Aaron Rodgers rookie. So that's that. Um, and then so last but not least for me, there's two players that like really were kicking into high gear when I got into like collecting cards like for real back in like 13 2014, and that's Jose Abreu and Chris Bryant. So ever since then I've collected like as many as I could Chris Bryant cards, and I've collected Jose Abreu as well. So this one I got like I think it was like one of the last days. I think it was Sunday actually, and I didn't pay the sticker price, but I'm glad to have this card. This is literally the epitome of like my collecting. It is a 2014 Bowman Chrome Prospects Auto Refractor 9.5 of Jose Abreu. So that's like this is the card that I remember first being like, man, I need to have this. Like I need to figure out how to do this, and then like people doing group breaks and you know like just exploring all those options and buying packs and I remember seeing like a paper like first Bowman just the non-auto in like a random sports store and being like, oh, that's cool, I need to have that. But to have like the graded 9.5 refractor for a pretty good deal, I needed to have that card. And then I wanted to get the first Bowman Chris Bryant one, and I saw it for a really good price. And this dude was swamped. There was like a line around this guy's booth. And then one time I just went back and like it was gone. But then I got this in like a lot. So this came with it. Chris Bryant Auto Relic from 2015 Bowman Inception. But then the main event is the Topps Chrome Rookie Refractor 9.5 Chris Bryant Auto. So literally these are like that's the PC right there. If these players don't exist, I don't get into collecting cards. So that's that's all that. And now it's time for Sean to kick the main event into gear.
So I think like none of this, none of my stuff that I purchased. I think I removed my. I tried to keep notes of what I spent and my intake because I sold to three different people. Um, but I think I deleted it when I tallied my money that I brought back and deposited it into the bank. Um, so really, I think outside of some packs that I ripped um, Saturday night, and then this stuff, this is really all I purchased at the show. Um, just wasn't anything for me. Nothing really caught my eye. The stuff that did was too overpriced. Like I said, I was gonna, if I really wanted it, I'd go to eBay. Um, I saw these two things Thursday morning. So Wednesday when I was there, I dropped off at PSA. Obviously took. I didn't pay cash. I did my credit card for that. Wednesday for the probably 3:30 to 8 o'clock that I was there, didn't make a purchase. Thursday morning, paid for my Beckett slab with the rock. Um, Saw these two items, and probably within an hour close for day two there Thursday. I went back because I didn't want to take the chance of it getting busier on that Friday and this not being there. So the dude was very cool. I want to say I didn't get a business card or anything, and I
It's
can't
from
remember the name.
Wichita.
Wichita, yes, he was from Kansas. Thank you. I don't remember the name of his shop, but he said he had just gotten a bunch of this stuff in. Um, I'm a big Trey Mancini guy, obviously being Notre Dame, and then the story that he's come back from with his colon cancer. I've been collecting him for a very long time. Don't really have a big collection, but anytime I see something I really like, so he had about 50, maybe 60 autographs in his case, just stacks of them. So that Thursday morning, I had gone through them. I kind of separated the ones that I liked. I mean, I liked them all because I don't think I had any of them, but I didn't want to buy them all. So when I saw this last piece on the show, I knew I was going to buy that, and I wanted to try to package one or two Mancinis in with it. Um, I know Phil will get a kick out of this one. So I saw this one, had to have it. It's a one of one patch autograph of Trey Mancini from 2018 Topps Flyer. Um, I think this is my first true one of one of Mancini in my collection. I've got four or five jersey number cards, so eBay 101 type stuff. But to find this true one of one, I was very thrilled to add that to the PC. And the deal I got with the last piece, in my mind, I basically paid for this item and got the one of one for free, if you want to look at it that way. So it does require a JSA letter. So it's memorabilia, which I normally don't dabble in. But I saw this and had to have it. It is a Chadwick Boseman signed 8 by 10 as Jackie Robinson from the movie 42. So
And
got
he
his
wrote
signature
42
on
on it
there.
too. I didn't realize that originally.
Yep, he wrote 42 on there. So got the signature, got his nice pose as Jackie there. So that was the highlight of my pickups from the National. So again, got these two in the same deal. He had 750 on the photo, 65 on the card. I pretty much paid the 750. So I like the fact that basically got this guy for free. But now the next step for this is get it professionally framed. And I think I'm gonna head to a show this weekend, and uh, they do framing over there. I probably won't have it back for a couple of weeks, but I definitely will either post a photo of it on IG and Twitter. If not, I might do a little video just to show it off. Um, so yeah, that's the highlight of my pickups.
That was sweet. When you like, as soon as you said that that was something you wanted, I was like, that's probably the most one of the most unique things at the show, honestly, because there's no chance that there was anything like that. You know what I mean?
Well, and the fact that he had the signed and framed piece, obviously way out of my price range.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, and it was cool that it was with Harrison Ford. But I didn't like that it was items signed and then framed as one.
Mm-hmm.
I would have preferred if it had both signatures on one piece, but I get that was probably hard to coordinate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, the fact is that, he won't sign again. There's not a lot of signed stuff out there from 42. I haven't seen. I Let me rephrase that. I haven't looked to see if there's a lot of Black Panther stuff out there. But it's very hard to find comps on it. And with that 750 number, that was kind of his asking price. I feel very comfortable with that. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I did get some mail in over the show too. I'll show that off.
While you're
So,
getting that together, I just wanted to say I did purchase this. I just forgot about
oh yeah,
Dawn.
yep.
Gale Sayers on the mini helmet, a KU mini helmet, and then it came in like a sweet display case. Probably like one of the steals of the weekend for me, honestly, price wise.
That
So
was a great price, and the fact that you said you wanted a mini helmet and it happened to be Gale Sayers was awesome.
yeah, I wanted a Gale Sayers auto and I wanted a mini helmet, and I just happened to get both and happened to be a Kansas helmet. So
Yep, two birds, one stone.
oh yeah,
So yeah, my mail day, kick it off with a bang. Got the Joe Exotic Leaf auto on the Pro set. Brian was selling these at the Pro, but I had actually bought them before the National because he is selling them on his day. I believe they're available till the 15th of August. But yeah, they're 50 a pop, by the way. Um, he had a case of the National. I just thought that they're so cool. That show made the pandemic. I mean, a lot of people's highlight for sitting at home. Um, I did purchase this before the National. Skylar Diggins rookie auto. It is hand numbered to 60 there. BGS 9510. I've never seen this card before, so got it in a slab. And then Pico, you'll appreciate this one.
uh
Didn't find it at the National, but I got a steal on this on a Facebook Marketplace. Pat McAfee, red, numbered to 60.
wow, there you go. That was like
The The lowest one listed on eBay is a non OBO for 300 or 400 or something like that.
Oh my
I
god,
got it for $10 shipped on Facebook Marketplace.
that's pretty good. Lazy, I
So
didn't watch that show either, so you're not the only one left.
the- my so Eric that was with me at the National hasn't watched it, but I
I don't plan
put him
on it
through
either.
that because he is very delicate and animal abuse just kills him. So I when those came out and I was showing the owner of the shop, Eric was like, "Who?" And I'm like, "You haven't seen it?" And I'm like, "Oh wait, yeah, don't."
Hmm.
But yeah, that was awesome. So
I got another thing that I thought about that's right next to me that I could talk about. So, I forgot what day it was. I think it was either Saturday or Friday. I think it was Friday. Um, but oh wait, what day was the Tops event?
Thursday,
Thursday. Okay, so it was Thursday. So on Thursday, um, we were all like gathered by like the main stage area, and I was like, oh, like I don't know what they were doing, so I just decided to like just walk around, a little bit. So I walked all the way to the other side of the venue, just thinking, oh, they're here, they want to see something. I don't know what they're doing. Apparently, Upper Deck was at the same time announcing AEW trading cards. So literally, my phone is like blowing up from Sean and Joe, like, where are you? Like, they're announcing AEW trading cards. Like, what,
can't believe you walked away.
dude, I didn't know what we were doing. I was just like, oh, like they just want to, like, they're here for something. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll go look for other stuff or whatever. I made it all the way to the other side of the building, all the way to the red carpet. Before, like, I was like, oh my god, I gotta get back. So they announced AEW trading cards, and they had these like cutouts, like, or like posters, of what the trading cards would look like. They were just blown up. They had them all in front of like the table, and like it was really sweet to see AEW having a trading card, and it's what I've been looking forward to ever since. Like they had a little clip of it on Being the Elite where we pretty much like can tell who it was. We could tell it was Upper Deck because of the stickers. And so I was excited about these AEW trading cards. I think that if it would have went to Tops doesn't know what they're doing with WWE cards sometimes. They don't put as much effort into it as other products that they have. So I was kind of nervous. I thought maybe Panini would get it because, like, I thought it would be interesting to see Panini. But at the end of the day, Upper Deck was like the one place that I wanted
Mini
AEW
Prism
trading cards.
AEW.
Could you imagine like a color blast of like Kenny Omega like doing
Well,
like the V
that's the
trigger?
thing. UFC blew up with it. So,
Yeah,
but
that
yeah.
would be
Anyways,
nuts. So I there was a guy on stage, um, and like he was like the Upper Deck guy. This is my mind. So he was the Upper Deck guy. So I was like, okay, I want to talk to this guy to tell him about you know like how excited I am, but I also want to know how to get one of those posters. And so I walked to the side, and like I waited, and he was like talking to other people, and then like a guy cut in front of me to talk to him, and then finally like 20 minutes later he's like, oh, like were you like you wanted to talk to me? And I was like, yeah, like I just wanted to say like I'm so excited for the AW trading cards. I've been waiting for a long time. Upper Deck was was the company that I wanted to get them because other companies don't do wrestling as like don't do wrestling well. So I'm glad that you guys got it because I think that you're gonna do really good, and I like what you do with the hockey cards, a lot. And I just went on, and I literally just marked out for like a good like 5 minutes. And so he was like, "Well, which one of those posters of the cards did you like the most?" And then I was like, "Oh, like the Kenny Omega one, especially because like I might meet him in like a month, and it would be cool to like get that signed." So he like literally just going through the box of like these posters, and at this point I'm like, well, like my next question was like, how would I be able to like get one of those posters? Like I heard you were giving them away, and then he just hands me the giant Kenny Omega AEW like Upper Deck like prototype blown up poster thing. And I'm like, oh, like is this like you giving this away? And he's like, I'm giving it to you, man. Like I love the enthusiasm. and I was just like, oh, thank you so much. So it turns out that that was the CEO of Upper Deck that I still don't know his name, but I appreciate it greatly,
Shout out to
because
Chris Carlin.
shout out to Chris, my main man, Chris at Upper Deck. I mean, look at that. That's just like, I mean, that's literally one of a kind. Like, it's literally one of a kind. And if AEW takes off, and we're still talking about AEW 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it's going to be sweet to have, a blown up version of the, like, original card
Well,
set.
and so with Pico walking away at the beginning and then walking away with a Kenny Omega, I went. So he texts me. He's like, "Where are you?" And I told him where I'm at, and I look up, and I literally see him holding the poster and creeping around the corner like this. And I'm like, "No way, he got one!" Like I haven't watched AEW. I'm right there with you, lazy. I've maybe watched one or two shows. Um, but there's a Comic Con over on the east side of the state in 2 weeks, and a bunch of the AEW guys are going to be there. And one of the blown up cards was Darby Allen, and he's going to be at this event. And I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if I could get that, get the the blown up image signed. And I'm like, oh, I'll just come back tomorrow, because they were supposed to give him away the next day. And then Pico bringing it around the corner like this. I'm like,
There's
oh
a,
no. Yeah, there's the Darby. Dean Ambrose signed it, by the way.
yeah, yeah, the literally like just Dean Ambrose signature just on
Dean
another card.
Dean
There was like the
Ambrose.
two others. There's the Kenny one up there. There's the Jericho one, and then there was like this like Cody one and Dustin.
That one was cool too.
Yeah, that'll be sweet to see what that's in.
Yeah,
But that was that was fun. That was fun to like just appear with like this giant thing. And then the funny thing after that was we were going to the Tops Q&A like event, so I had to carry a giant Upper Deck advertisement into the Tops Q&A event. So
and they let him in. They
and
they
let
were
me
like,
in.
don't you can't come in. You can't bring that item.
I just hit it. What are they gonna say? You know what I mean? I mean, their badge says Panini on it. Like, what do you like? You
Right.
know,
So
I
yeah,
don't
that's
know.
I can't think of anything else that we've picked up. You got your Bryants in there. You got the both of your
Yeah.
big items that you had to carry out and walk a mile with.
Oh, dude, the 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 problems of having the giant Kenny Omega thing and then the Gale Sayers helmet is just it's worth it now because I got it home. But at the moment, I was like, was this even worth it, dude? Like, I gotta worry about this. But yeah, I don't I don't know what else to say.
So maybe
That
we
was
should wrap
fun.
up there with final thoughts of the National. What'd
Oh,
you think?
one more thing.
Oh, did find something else.
It's hard to see, but I got one of those Zion cases.
Oh yeah,
The card Zion XL cases. Here's like the picture. I was asking around and I'm like, is it worth it? So it's like the four row. I was like, is it worth it? And I just thought, you know what? I was looking for like a safe to put my stuff in, but that's just as good. So, but now I have so one row is like filled with like cards in like team bags, like top loader sleeves and like a team bag. So I have two rows of that, and then the third row is like the cards are sideways in there just because they wouldn't fit going up and down this way. And then the fourth row is graded cards and one touched cards. So, dude, I was surprised at how good the Zion cases are and like how cheap they were because I saw people with those and I was like, they got to be like two, three, $400, but it was it was it was cheap enough for me to like consider it. So yeah, that's all I got.
all right. So back to my statement. What were
Yeah.
your final thoughts of the National?
it was fun to see everybody. It was fun to look at cards again and not just the same old like scrolling through eBay. And I mean, at first I was like, "There's no chance that I would go to Atlantic City," but I was just thinking about it, and I was like, if things work out, and a year from now, maybe I'll go to Atlantic City. I don't know. It just depends on what's going on at that time, and like all that stuff. But definitely, if it was in Chicago every year, like I would for sure go all the days. Like even though my feet were killing me by Thursday afternoon.
Well, and that's the thing, and I add anything if you'd like, but I think my close is, it was a blast. I that was So that was the first time I had gone for every single day outside of when I set up there 2 years ago, with my full. So to experience every single day as a buyer, as a customer, as a walker, whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
it was a blast. There was a lot of people. I'm usually not a fan of big crowds, so I think that's part of the reason why I didn't make a purchase on Wednesday is because I was a bit shell shocked, overwhelmed. And Wednesday it was way too hot in there. When I was filling out my PSA order form, I've got my hat like this. I've got the backpack on, my fanny pack, and I had just had sweat
It was
dripping down my
bad.
face. And I'm like, if this lasts all day or even all week, I don't know how I'm going to survive.
There was no shot.
Um,
No.
but in the end, Wednesday turned into Thursday. Thursday was fantastic. Obviously landing the Grail piece and the Chadwick. The AC was turned on. And then I think once we got into Friday, Saturday, like don't get me wrong, it was still busy, but I think the record crowds that we saw was the Wednesday, Thursday.
Hmm.
Um, you know, Again, still busy, but I expected it to be busier with what Wednesday, Thursday looked like.
Yeah.
Um, and like you said, I don't really plan on doing Atlantic City. I'm sure once we finish out this year, kind of get closer into next year's national season, I'll probably get the itch and figure out a way to get out there for whether it be the week or just a few days.
Hmm.
But National 2023 back in Chicago, I can't wait.
Yeah. I'm. I mean, I think I said like 2019 national was my like kind of the thing that got me out of my 2 year long break from cards. And I think that now that 2 years has gone by and I've like gone full speed ahead back into cards, I think after the national and I've seen pretty much everything that I could see personally. I think I'm gonna like slow ease out of like taking a break again until next year's national or until like the next
Well, and,
Chicago
and let
national.
me throw this out there. When did you say All Out was?
It's like
Or that's the event you're going to, right?
so okay. So I'm going to the first event that I'm going to is on August 20th, and the last event that I'm going to is on like September 5th.
Okay.
So I have like
And
5 or 6 wrestling events between that time.
where is the show on September 5th?
That's in Hoffman Estates. Like that's the big pay-per-view in Chicago.
Yeah. So the Chicago Sports Spectacular is
Oh
that week.
yes. Hmm.
Um, I'm setting up at a show in Shipshewana on Sunday. The show in Chicago is Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm very tempted to just drive down there on the Saturday. Um, do the spectacular, maybe do some buying. Um, I don't know. And they do have AEW superstars there throughout the weekend. I did check their site today. Big Show is one of them.
I just thought about that. I wonder if instead of Fan Fest, they're just gonna do something through the Chicago Spectacular.
So I know they want to say it was the Nasty Boys, Big Show, couple other AEW stars.
Oh no.
There wasn't a lot of wrestling, but
Mm-hmm.
I think as time progresses, especially because it's only at this rate a month away,
Yeah.
they might add some more. Um,
Oh man.
but as of right now, like, I'm just tempted, make a day trip out of it,
Mm-hmm.
especially because the spectacular, like, it's awesome, but it's not as big as the national. Up on that second level of the Stevens Center, you know, just come down, hang out again, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, don't go into retirement yet.
Well, we still got Scarlett has to sign a card. Indy Hartwell has to sign a card. Um, there's the Puka Williams is going to play for the Bengals this year, and I need to, it's going to be like I don't think I'm going to open anything anytime soon. You know what I mean?
and again, going back to the earlier conversation, like yes, don't get me wrong, I still like to rip. I'll do it every now and then. We got WNBA Prism 2021, or it would be 2020, right? Last year's was 2020.
I think so.
Um, anyways, that's coming out within week and a half. Um, Wrestling stuff as it comes out, but man, I can't. You saw it. I wanted to dabble into something on that Friday night, and I just couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So it's too much fun chasing what you want.
Mm-hmm.
The hunt is part of it, and I think that's where the hunt of pulling it comes into play. Like it's kind of one and the same,
Mm-hmm.
but I just can't justify the prices. I can buy a $10 card, sell it for 50, or I can buy a $300 box and only get 50 back in return.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
But yeah, with
National.
that said, spectacular might be a play for us. Otherwise, um, you know, Atlantic City, not my favorite. Not a place that I like to be. I'm not a casino guy. I like to socially drink, but outside of that, there's not a lot to do there. Um, so Chicago is a great spot for it. Cleveland is one of my favorites. Hopefully the IX Center can hold us once again. If not, hopefully they figure out another place to rotate it in. So, do you have anything else?
Yeah. No. I mean, it was an awesome weekend, and I look forward to the next one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Whether it be, like I said, whether it be the national, the spectacular, or some wrestling event, barring anything stupid, let's. I think we end the night there. Covered all our pickups, some fun stuff. Thanks to everybody who hung out with us. Um, Good questions tonight too. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fellas, gonna end the YouTube live here. Thanks again for hanging out. We'll see you next time.